What's up, everybody? We finally back. A much needed break, as I assume. Last time Cleveland and Detroit played, Cade Cunningham had dropped a triple double. I think he had like 19, 10, and 10. He had a great game against the number one team in his conference, but there was no Olynyk, there was no Jeremy Grant, so the identity of the team is kind of, different. Cade Cunningham over 16.5 points, over 5 rebounds, over 5 assists, over 26.5 PRA. Jared Allen, 15.5. No Garland, no LeVert. That scoring's going to have to come from somewhere, and we know what Rondo can do when he got the ball in transition. We know Allen can run the floor. We know Rondo can set offense and get the big man some easy points. So those points got to come from somewhere, whether it's Kevin Love, Evan Mobley, or Jared Allen. Isaiah Stewart. He can score against the big man. Last time these two teams played, I think Isaiah Stewart had about 14 points, 12 rebounds. So I don't really think his position will be affected as long as he stays out of foul trouble. Like I said, Rondo can orchestrate the offense, and that could lead to easy buckets for Allen, which could lead to easy fouls for Stewart. I got Stewart over 8.5 rebounds if the game stays close, and I got Stewart over 17.5 PRA if you think he's going to come up a little short on the rebounds and score a little more, or vice versa. Kelly Olynyk over 7.5 points. Kelly Olynyk over 14.5 PRA. Even with a blowout, I believe Kelly Olynyk gets his minutes. He's coming off the bench, so take that into consideration. I still might like this play. I still might take this play because I know how productive Kelly Olynyk is. Jason Tatum over 26.5. Jason Tatum over 7.5 rebounds against Brooklyn. I'm expecting it to be a blowout. Only way it's not a blowout is if Steph Curry is hot tonight, and if he gets some help from Cameron, and if he gets some help from Patty Mills. But Marcus Smart is back. So we got Derek White, Tatum, Brown, Williams, Horford. I like Tatum leading the pack, creating a blowout tonight. Trae Young, every time he plays against Chicago, the last time these two teams played was like one of the last days of the year. I remember that game. The Hawks, we had a lot of people out. I think we only had the only people that you guys will probably recognize their name is Trae Young and Clint Capella. Everybody else is like 10-day contract guys and practice squad guys. We gave them a battle for their money. Zach LaVine was in, Lonzo was out, Caruso was out, Green was in, Dusunmu was in, DeMar was in, Vucevic was in. Trae Young had a bad shooting night, still ended up with like 25, 26. So he's definitely Trae Young is gonna be productive tonight, of course. So I like his over on his points, over on his assists, over on his PRA, over on his 2.5 threes. If you know, you know. I got Zach LaVine over 23.5 points against the Hawks. Got Bogdanovich off the bench with 25 minutes plus. Gonna kill that 13.5 point. Ja Morant, I got him going against Minnesota. Pat Bev, I got Ja Morant going over 28.5 points, 41.5 PRA, 47.5 fantasy points, and over 5 free throws. Anthony Edwards over 22.5 points. DeAnthony Melton over 8.5 points. Desmond Bain comes out with 6 to 7 minutes left in the first quarter, and they insert DeAnthony Melton. And when DeAnthony Melton comes in, out of the next 5 shots, watch DeAnthony Melton take 2 to 3 of those shots. Just watch what I say. I watch little stuff like that. I got Devin Booker across the board. When I say across the board, I got Devin Booker over 2.5 threes, over 4.5 free throws, definitely. No Chris Paul, no Cameron Payne. Are you serious? Everybody in the world who knows the story, we know that for the next 6 to 8 weeks, Devin Booker better play the best basketball he's ever played in his life, or he's going to be criticized. So, 2.5 threes, 4.5 free throws, 28.5 points for Booker, 6.5 assists over, 5 rebounds over, 38.5 PRA, 46.5 fantasy point. If you know, you know. DeAndre Ayton, over 16.5 points, over 10.5 rebounds. Not one of my top plays, but I'm loving the boards. I'm loving the points. So, against OKC, you know, Gilgeous-Alexander back. That's why I'm not really messing with anybody from OKC. We got to see what their identity is now with Lou Dort out and SGA in. You get what I'm saying. So we got Jokic, 27.5 points, 8.5 assists, 13.5 rebounds, 58 fantasy points. Against Sacramento, we know, go check the history. Steph Curry, over 24.5 points and over 4 threes. If you think he's still hot from the All-Star break. That's the only reason why I took that guy. So we got Anthony Simons, self-explanatory what he's been doing since Lillard been hurt, CJ gone, Covington gone, Powell's gone. I mean, him and Josh Hart, and then now Justice Winslow is starting to turn up a little bit. So I got Justice Winslow over 23.5 PRA. I got Anthony Simons over 30.5 PRA, 5.5 assists, and over 22.5 points. Josh Hart following it up, 16.5 points, over 4 assists, over 28.5 PRA. Seth Curry, if the game stays close, which I don't think it's going to stay close, but just in case it does, against Boston, Brooklyn versus Boston, 4.5 assists over for Seth Curry. We got 23.5 over PRA. DeMar DeRozan against the Hawks. It's going to be a high-scoring game. Over 5 assists. Over 39.5 PRA. I like that one better than the assist, but I like both. Andre Drummond, over 10.5 rebounds. It's self-explanatory. It's against Boston, going against Robert Williams, who I like over on 10.5 rebounds as well. Pick your poison. One of them probably will go over. We got to throw Horford in there. We got Jason Tatum over on rebounds. I mean, you know, so you got to pick your poison. Drummond, Tatum, Williams. Vucevic over 11.5 rebounds, simply because with Zach LaVine inserted back into the lineup, his scoring is going to drop down a little lower. You actually could probably take the under on Vucevic points because he's going to have to play in the perimeter, because getting money in the paint with Capella in there, if John Collins plays, that's there. 20 rebounds last game against the Hawks, Vucevic. So I like his rebounds over, but remember, no Collins, no DeAndre Hunter, no Bogdanovich was there. Who else? Noah Conwu. Yeah, so I don't know about 20 rebounds. Just Steven Adams over 9.5 rebounds against Minnesota. Steven Adams has tough times against tough centers. Not saying Karl Anthony Towns is not a tough center, but I mean, there's nothing Karl Anthony Towns could do with Steven Adams. So I like the over on 9.5 rebounds. Brandon Clark, ever since he came back from injury, he's been coming in with DeAnthony at Melton. DeAnthony Melton may come in first off the bench. He may come in first off the bench. They may come in together, but they're definitely coming in off the bench to play some valuable minutes. Jordan Poole over 19.5 points. Could be a blowout. Could be a close game. You know, you can't really predict it. So either way, I like Jordan Poole over 19.5 PRA. I got Sadiq Bey over 29.5 fantasy point. Marcus Smart 1.5 blocks and steal. Got Jeff Green over 13.5 PRA. And last, we got Javonte Green. High scoring game, Chicago and Atlanta. Javonte Green over 16.5 PRA. You got to be careful. We got the Sun move, DeMar, Levine, Vucevic. But I still like the over on his PRA for Javonte Green. He's done it with them in before. He can do it again. We only gonna get better. If anybody want to reach out to me, and I've been trying to watch videos on YouTube about how to screen share with my new webcam and all that. And listen, I'm not tech savvy, but I know a little bit. But I know how to watch YouTube. Like, that's why the channel is called Prospect University, YouTube University. If you know, you know. Um, it's just not working for me. So if anybody want to reach out, I will bless you. You know, spend some time with me. You know, we spend maybe 2 hours, 3 hours. You know, I hit you with the one-time fee, send you a little DoorDash, you know, for dinner or something like that. One night, you know. So reach out to me if y'all know how to do all that good stuff, you know, with the green screen and all that, you know. So let's get these green lines tonight.